going on, guys? JS Cards here, coming at you with a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and today we are going to go over my Monarch deck. So the cool thing with this deck is not only can you play Yu-Gi-Oh with it, but you can also build a house with it because of how many bricks you have. No, just kidding, guys. You know, we did get Pantheism back at 3. A lot of Monarch players were very happy about that. It actually brought this deck back to life a little bit. This deck is fun if you want to take it to locals or play kind of casually, but you know, if you're gonna go up against like meta decks or go to a bigger tournament or remote duel type thing, you're not gonna want to play Monarchs. You know, they struggle with multiple disruptions. They can handle getting disrupted like once, but after that, it's pretty much game over. I mean, getting the domain lock and the Vanity's Fiend out is fun when it works, but you know, so many decks can play around it. But if you are able to lock your opponent out of their extra deck, it is really fun and you kind of have the game from there. So yeah, we got Pantheism back at 3 a couple months ago. I just never really got around to digging out all of my Monarch cards that were in my binder and putting together Monarchs again. It's been years and years since I've done that, and it was nostalgic, and Monarchs are really cool and I like their designs and everything. And who knows, maybe in the future they'll be tier 2 or maybe a top tier contender someday, but right now they're not. But it is still a very fun and not to mention budget deck, as you're not playing any extra deck monsters at all. And if you can find 3 of the structure deck for a decent price, that's really all you need to build this deck, which is awesome. So without any further ado, let's jump into the deck profile. This is going to be kind of a short and sweet video. I didn't really break the mold or anything with this deck. It is a very standard Monarch deck, and there's no extra deck, so we won't have anything to go over there. But if you're a new player or a returning player, this might be a really fun deck to kind of learn the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh with. And if you want to be annoying and lock people out of their extra deck monsters and special summoning mechanics, go for it. I mean, that is part of the deck and part of why it's so fun. All right, so starting off with the monsters, of course, triple copies of Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. We also play 3 copies of Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. These are your 2 powerhouse cards of the deck. They are your main powerful Monarchs that you want to bring out. Then after that, I play 2 copies of Karaz. Karaz is nice because it's a 1 tribute summon monster, and then you can pop cards when it's brought out. Then for the best card in the deck, honestly, 3 copies of Vanity's Fiend. You want to see this card and get it out, preferably on your first turn or as soon as possible. Neither player can special summon, but that doesn't hurt you at all with this deck, so this is the MVP for sure. Then for the last of our monsters, I play 3 copies of Idea, the Heavenly Squire, which then lets you special summon out your Eidos, the Underworld Squire. So just a great way to get your field set up so you can do some tribute summoning. That's it for the monsters. Let's move on to the spells. The spells is where this deck really shines, actually. So we play triple copies of Tenacity of the Monarchs. You can reveal one of your Monarch monsters to add a Monarch spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Then for the best spell card, triple Pantheism. That's right, back at 3, you can send a Monarch spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard. You reveal 3 Monarch spell or trap cards from your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 that you can add to your hand, and the rest go back into your deck. Just a fantastic card. It combos quite well if you have the Prime Monarch in your hand as well. And it lets you draw 2, so the fact that we got this back at 3 does help out the deck quite a bit. After that, 3 copies of Domain of the True Monarchs. This card's great, so if you have this with your Vanity's Fiend, your opponent really can't do anything. The next card I play is 3 copies of the Monarch Stormforth. This is really good because it doesn't have to be used on just your Monarch cards. But basically, if you're going to tribute summon a monster, you can tribute one of your opponent's monsters as one of the tributes. I also play 3 copies of Return of the Monarchs. If you tribute summon, it lets you add a Monarch from your deck to your hand. Then for the one-ofs, we have 1 for 1 to get out your idea, Reinforcement of the Army to search out your idea, and a Foolish Burial. Moving on to the trap cards, I play 3 copies of the Prime Monarch. It comes out as a monster if it's in your graveyard, and then on top of that, you can target 2 Monarch spell or trap cards that are in your graveyard and shuffle them back into the deck and draw 1 card. So this lets you recycle your spells and traps. It also lets you draw, and on top of that, it comes out as a monster that you can then tribute away to get out your Vanity's Fiend or one of your other Monarchs. This is by far the best trap card in the deck. But for the last trap cards, I played 2 copies of the Monarchs Erupt and the 1 Escalation. So there you guys have it. That is my Monarch deck profile for November. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's pretty short, pretty straight to the point. But that's how Monarchs work. They are a classic deck, and they're all about tribute summoning and shutting down your opponent's extra deck. So yeah, if you can do that with this deck, you're going to be in a pretty good spot. This is a fun, casual deck. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more. That really helps me out. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and when we reach that milestone, I'll be giving away 2 decks. One is a Machina deck, the other one is a Jinzo deck. Stay tuned for more Yu-Gi-Oh! News, deck profiles, and opening videos, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.